observation from the outset when it came to the Wuhan lab leak theory was that most of the media and the body politic opposed this theory simply because Donald Trump decided to give it credence. Now, he gave it credence because it was the most obvious source for the pandemic, as you mentioned, but anything Trump said always had to be disputed, denied, and, as you say, portrayed as a conspiracy theory by so many in the media. But even now, the White House is not accepting that the evidence is overwhelming. Have a look.
There is not a consensus on what caused COVID to start. The president wants to understand that so we can prevent better future pandemics. He's made that a priority, and we don't have an answer to speak to. And so given that we don't have a consensus, it would be foolish for me to get out ahead of speculation on hypothetical situations to come.
Look, he's right in that there's not a consensus between agencies, but you don't need a consensus to arrive at the facts. And the evidence here is overwhelming. What do you think is making the White House so timid? Is it embarrassed about their previous positions? Are they worried about insulting China? Or are they worried about US complicity through Fauci and other organisations helping to fund this overseas gain of function research?
I suspect it's probably a combination of all of those things, but you are absolutely correct that the original reason that I suspect they were so against the lab leak theory is because it was a theory that Donald Trump had suggested. Donald Trump broke the brains of these liberals. It is Trump Derangement Syndrome. They just can't stand Donald Trump. So, if Donald Trump says it's daytime out, it's nighttime out, everything he says is just, they would immediately jump to the opposite conclusion. But what's really infuriating about this whole thing isn't just that they are not coming to conclusions at this point. It's that for years, anyone who suggested it might have come from a lab leak theory, not just Donald Trump, but normal Americans who asked questions about it, were totally disregarded, called conspiracy theorists and all kinds of other horrible names, even though it turns out in the end, we might have been correct.
Absolutely, and most likely correct.